nothing but faith. There's things far too great that I want to accomplish. I'm hoping 25 hours a day, but something good works out, and I'm just like, dang. Think everything's gonna be okay. Yeah, I'm like, dang. Think you might just know the way. I'm like, dang.
Who's starting? Welcome to Dang. Is it my job to start us?
Dang, yes.
Oh, okay. I forgot. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I was a little late on the uptake, but that's okay.
Yes, it is.
Today, we're talking about, well, we were actually deciding that we were just going to have all of our arguments as podcasts, right?
I don't think you want to do that. I don't think you want to hear the things that you say to me.
I actually think it'd be a really good idea because then you will know. I'll be able to rewind it and play back, and you can hear exactly what you say.
I would love to be able to rewind it and play back so you can hear what
like
you say
that commercial. Remember during the football season, there was that
Which
commercial where they would have like the flag, like the people are arguing and there's a flag come out, and then they'd replay it.
But I want the mute button.
Oh,
That's
gosh.
all I want.
No.
That's what I want.
I want the flag on play, and then everybody goes and reviews it. Did you see? Remember the commercial I'm talking about? It was hilarious.
It's the instant replay. That's what they get for
right. But they did it like a
them.
commercial.
Yes.
I don't remember what the commercial was for, but it was really funny.
It's the commercial for sports when they get to challenge the players.
Right, but it was like a commercial during football season. And it was talking about people arguing.
Yes,
and then the couple.
they were doing the football.
Was it a card? Commercial?
No, they weren't advertising. Yeah, I think it was insurance. It was Geico.
Oh,
but
yes.
they were. It's the challenge flag.
It was the challenge flag.
Yes.
And then they got a replay.
Yes.
And I would like to have the replays so we can just argue on the podcast and then we can replay.
If we replay, you may not be happy with things that you say.
All right, maybe we could talk about something better.
Yeah. Okay. What are we talking about today? Choices, you said, right?
Choices. And
Yes.
why is life so hard? Right?
I don't think
life's hard?
I don't think life is hard. I think we choose to make it hard.
Well, I think it's by nature kind of hard too, but we can choose not to let it get us down.
Well,
what do you think?
I think that life is not hard because if you choose to be happy and look at things in a happy way,
right,
then you can float through it and do what you got to get done.
Anything, whatever challenges. Yes.
The problem is people get caught up in all the material things that money can buy, or what your brother has next door, or your sister has down the street. You care more about that, so that doesn't make you happy. You get upset because you don't have those things. But what I always tell people is those things will come if you continue doing the work you're doing. But people just don't want to wait. They want everything now. You're
good at kind of just waiting patiently. Where did you learn that?
I learned waiting patiently because, from being in jail. When you're in,
you need to write a new book. Everything I needed to learn in life, I learned in jail.
Yeah, because you learn how to, be patient because you ain't getting out until they let you out.
That's true.
And you have to just be like, okay, I'm gonna get out one of these days.
I thought that was weird. I remember when you were telling me about that, your jail stay, because didn't they give you a certain amount of time?
No, no.
But it was a sentence for a certain amount.
No, I was there before trial, so you don't know how long you're gonna be there. Some people are there 4 years for trial.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, because I thought you'd said it was supposed to be like 6 months. And
no, that was when I went to Chino.
Oh.
That was when I went to.
And how long was that?
He gave me a 90-day sentence, but it went 8 months actually.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait, that's not fair. I would be like 90 days, timer starts now. 90 days from now, let me out.
Doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that.
No, you can't tell them to let me out. They don't care about that. They'll be like, okay, and get on over there.
If your sentence is for 90 days, how come you could be in there longer? I don't get it.
Because it takes time for them to get around to you to get you out. And that's what happens. It took court time to get me out. It took about 8 months to get me out of Chino.
That reminds me of the time I forgot. Remember when I locked my brother in the playhouse at my aunt's house? Remember that? Well, my little brother. I was teasing him. We were fighting. I don't remember. He's only 18 months younger than me. And I locked him in the playhouse just to tease him, right? But then I got distracted and I forgot that I locked him in there.
Who was it, Aaron?
No, it was Adam.
You locked Adam in there, and how long was he locked in there for?
I don't know. And then I remembered suddenly, and I ran and I let him out, and he was so mad. He like stormed past me, wouldn't even talk to me. I think he'd wet his pants in there.
Well, because he probably had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. And I got in so much trouble.
Yeah.
I think he stormed past me and went and got my dad, and I got in huge trouble.
Probably forgot you. Poor Adam. See, that's the thing about getting easily distracted. And I don't think that's easily.
It was terrible.
It's not gone.
I wanted it to be like, I wanted him to suffer a little bit. So that's why I'd walked away, because I wanted him to be like, because there's like a window on the playhouse. I wanted him to think he was really going to be locked in there for like, but I honestly, seriously swear, did not mean to leave him in there for a long time like that.
But do you think you're still easy?
So I think that's what happened to you in jail, though. They were like, forgot.
No, they don't. It's not that they forget. What happens is by the time they get all the paperwork done and everything done to release you, unless the judge release you if they release you right then, if they say you're blah blah blah, you're getting out right now, then you don't even go back to there. You just get out right there in court.
That would be. This was like, lot of patience.
They just had to come on the court docket, back on the docket to get me released, and they came on the docket, then they released me, but it took a little while. So you have to be patient enough to be like, well, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm going to wait until it does, and you're not looking forward to like having great food. You're not looking forward to like watching TV. You're not looking forward to like not dropping the soap so no one tries to touch you.
Oh, geez.
You're not looking forward to anything great because you know that you're not going to get it. So it's up to
Do you remember the day you got out?
Yeah. The day I got out, I went and had a steak because you don't see steaks in there.
You don't. No steak. Well,
see eggs and chicken. That's about it. But the food is actually better in prison than it is in the county. County's worse.
Really?
Yeah, county's horrible. It's horrifying in there.
Oh.
We had something called crap on the shingles. And
what was that?
Well, because it was like some kind of mystery meat on top of some gravy with mashed potatoes.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then there was some juice they gave us in county that I remember reading it, and it said has caused cancer in laboratory animals.
And they're giving you this juice
I stopped
to
drinking.
drink.
I stopped drinking that. I didn't want to drink that anymore. I'm not drinking this anymore.
What color was it?
It was red. It was like a red color.
It was red.
It probably had that number 9. What's that, red? What's that?
Red number 7?
Yeah, whatever. It had something like
know.
that in it. Something that was, I'm sure it wasn't good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you read something that says can cause cancer in laboratory rats and they're giving it to people?
Be like, yes, perfect.
But I know people would say, well, because they're in jail, and they deserve that. No, not everyone in jail deserves, stuff like that. Murderers, rapists, child molesters, yes. But some people, it's just they're a victim of their circumstances or they're,
Or they're needing to learn a lesson.
Well, God put me there to learn a lesson, that's for sure. And I learned a lesson. That's why I ain't been back.
Yeah.
I've learned a lesson that and that's why on the outside, it's easy for me to be patient because I do know all good things do come around, but you're going to have to go through stuff to get to it.
Yeah. And I think that life is a lot about getting kind of like elevated, getting harder as we go. Like I remember I was going through some really rough stuff and we're really religious, and in our religion, the men have the priest and give you priesthood blessings. And I'd asked my dad to give me a blessing just to help me, give me strength, because it'd just been kind of a really rough patch. This is before I knew you, actually. And he'd given me the blessing, and in the blessing, he had said, he was commiserating with me a little bit and blessing me that I'd have the strength and stuff that I needed. But then he'd said, and he choked up as he said it. He's like, and it's just going to get harder.
Because
and
yes.
I remember at that moment I was like, Dad, how could you bless me that things are going to get harder? I want things to get easier. Like this is too hard.
When you ask God and you pray for patience, what does he do? He doesn't give you patience, puts things in front of you to make you more patient.
So I called my sister and I told her, I was crying to her. I said, do you know what Dad did? He gave me this blessing. He blessed me with the comfort and stuff that I needed, but then he said it's just going to get harder. And she was like, yeah, but that's just life. And she was right. Like when I started to think about it that way, it was like life, it is always just getting harder. I remember like one more thing, and I'll let you talk.
Go ahead.
So when I was a kid and I was in school, I think I was in like 3rd or 4th grade, And we were doing like that back to school night where you go and meet your teachers. And we went as a whole family. So we'd gone and met my teacher, and then we went to my sister's classroom. It was a 6th grade classroom. And I remember looking around the classroom, looking at the books that were on the table and the things that were on the board and thinking, oh my gosh, there is no way I'm going to be able to handle 6th grade. I was like so overwhelmed by what I was seeing that I was like, oh my gosh, well, like by the time I get to 6th grade, that's it for me because I can't do 6th grade. But then I remember being in that same classroom when I was in 6th grade, and I remembered that at some point during the year and was like, this isn't that bad. Like, I can do this. I just wasn't ready yet. So I was seeing that challenge and was like, there's no way I can do it, but I wasn't ready for it. And I think there's something...
Because a lot of people don't like change. Change is a difficult thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But also, it's living life on life's terms. A lot of people don't like doing that also.
What do you mean by that?
It's when you're in the program that I'm in, you live life on life's terms, which means that you realize that, yes, things are going to be hard, but it doesn't mean I got to be unhappy while I'm dealing with it or going through it. You say this often. You could choose how to look at it.
No, I say that all the time. Huh? I
Yes.
tell you that. I tell the kids that.
But you got to practice it, don't you?
No, I know.
It's always harder to practice what you say.
Well,
sometimes.
let me break that idea down for you, because what it is your circumstances are neutral. That's the idea. Is that whatever's happening to you, it's not necessarily that whatever's happening to you is good or bad. It's just neutral what's happening to you. It becomes good or bad when we take it inside our heads, when we internalize it and we decide. We create a story or a thought that's attached to that circumstance, and that's where the negative and positive comes in. Okay. Like, so you can, just like what you were saying with the patience and the having a positive outlook, things can be happening that, you could interpret and say that is a bad thing, but you could take that exact same thing and you can assign different thoughts to it, and it can be neutral. Like, for example, the example I like to give is like a checking account. So if I go to one of my mom friends and be like, I only have $50 in my checking account, all of them will think like me that that's a terrible thing. Like, that is such a bad thing because I only have $50 left, right? But if you go to my 7-year-old and you say, there's $50 in your bank account, my 7-year-old's gonna be like, woohoo! I got tons of money. I'm gonna go shopping. So that means the $50 in the bank account is neutral. Like, that doesn't have a negative or a positive. Right. It's assigned by the person interpreting the circumstances, which is us, me, you. And that's where our power comes in, right? That's where the control comes in. That's where if life is handing you a bunch of crappy circumstances, you make the lemonade with the thoughts, like, right? If it's giving you those lemons, the making lemonade is changing the way you think about it, don't you think?
It also has to do with that. If you really believe that $50 is going to be in your bank account for the rest of your life, something's wrong with you. That is not the case. Well, you just have to realize that, okay, I got $50 right. I got $50 right now. But if your bills are paid, and if you owe some money around places, it's still okay. You still got $50. Which means that if you wanted a taco, you can go get a taco. If you wanted to go to the movies, you can go to the movies.
So you still have preserved the outlook of the 7-year-old, huh?
Yes, because because I know that things change. Predicaments change, situations change. I don't stick myself where I know it's not going to change. And like I said, I can find enough stuff to do around the house to make me happy than just going out. And I don't have to go places or travel around the world just to make me happy. I don't need that anymore.
Yeah.
I need smaller things in life. And that's because the program I'm in, we choose to look at the happiness of it instead of just that.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, the reason why I get upset when people try to shut down my emotions is because I just learned about all my emotions and what they are and what they mean. And when someone tries to tell me that's not what I'm feeling, it drives me because I know what I'm feeling now.
And when you say you just learned, when are you talking about?
Well, the last, 31 years of my life. Took 31 years to learn my emotions.
You just learned about them 31 years ago.
Yeah, because I was emotionally shut down. When you go through traumatic and tragic things, your emotions get stopped. You stop growing.
Yeah, I'm just teasing you about.
No, it's okay.
You saying just when it was forever ago.
Well, yeah, but that's not forever ago for everyone. Is 31 years forever ago? People who are passed away? No.
I guess.
See, I'm always trying to look at the positive parts of it, and that's why I get very upset when people try to shut my feelings down because hey, I know what my feelings are. And when people say to me, you don't have to, you shouldn't be angry. No, I have a right to be angry. It's how I do my anger.
Right.
Is the point.
And we've talked about it because you've gotten mad at me before when you say, I'm trying to change your feelings. And I wasn't saying that I was trying to change your feelings. I was saying you can change your thoughts.
I'm not being mean,
The
but I think
thoughts
women
create
are
feelings.
always trying to change their husband's feelings. I think that's how it always is. You want
But
us
you
to
get
think,
the distinction,
you want us
right?
to yes, but you want us to think like you guys, and we can't
Yeah.
unless we're like you guys, and we're not. That's apple and oranges. It's just not going to happen. The way we see things, the way you see things, two different ways.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, and that's why God put us together, because it makes a whole person.
Yeah.
That's what I truly believe. The reason why God put man and woman together, you know, I'm not saying that anywhere else is bad. That's what they want to do. That's on them. That's between them and God. It has nothing to do with me. What I'm saying is I believe the reason why God put man and woman together, because we're two different people, and we'll make a whole person.
Yeah, we have different kind of
but
ways
it makes
of
but it
thinking.
makes a whole person, is what I think. And I think it's easier, you know, that's why we have to be happy with who your partner is, what they're about, and who they are as a man, because they're going to look at things differently, and I know you are going to look at things differently.
And I think that that's what you're looking for in a partner, right? Like whether it's man or woman or what, it's that you have your partner, you want them to be complementary to you, right?
But
like
do you want someone to agree with you all the time?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you want someone
it
to a
be
yes person,
a different perspective, right?
You want to be a yes person, that's not a good thing at all.
Yeah, you need that
That's
other
never gonna
reference
last.
point.
Yeah.
So that, because if you're just seeing your perspective, you know you're like a two-dimensional plane.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
not getting that other dimension.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I was reading something, kind of going back to the challenges, the hard things. I was reading about how opposites, like being hungry and being full, and you know being happy and being sad, that like you need that opposition, that it has to, like, you can't, one doesn't exist without the other.
Oh, I don't think so.
That idea.
Yeah.
And it was talking about that they're like the same side, two different sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
That like you need, that they're both always going to exist.
But it's okay when you're sad. People don't understand. They think that I'm not supposed to be sad. No, you are. But it's okay. But it's how you, as long as you don't stay in it and just sit there and just, that's what your whole life is about, you know, is being sad, because then people aren't going to want to be around you. Nobody
Right.
wants to be around someone who's sad all the time.
Yeah.
Or, you know, or who's negative all the time.
Yeah, there was a talk show that I used to listen to that would have like a happiness hour every week. You talk about happiness, and I liked when he would compare happiness to like brushing your teeth or putting on deodorant. He was like, you know what? Everybody naturally is going to wake up with bad breath.
Of course.
They're going to be stinky. But we do things so that we don't inflict that on other people. Like we brush our teeth, we put deodorant on. He's like, it's the same way. Everybody is facing challenges. Everybody
Yes.
is fighting a hard fight, and everybody's got hurts and stuff they're dealing with. And when we go around being unhappy, we're like inflicting our bad breath, if you will, on other people.
Well, yeah, but that's why it doesn't matter how much money you have. People that are billionaires are emotionally challenged too, like everybody else.
Right, they have to do
Now,
the same thing.
You can pay your bills easier,
brush your
but still, you have so many other things to worry about. That's
Yeah.
a lot of stress to worry about. Believe me, I've been there, so I know what it's like. It's still a lot of things. And
So even like people with tons of money and really famous, they get bad breath, right?
Of course they do. The finest girl in the world gets bad breath, which is you. In the morning, waking up next to you is like, woo-hoo!
Thanks a lot for
But
that.
everybody gets it. I
Thanks
do too.
a lot for that.
But see, the difference between me and you is I get up before you, so I get all my stuff done earlier. So you don't have
That's
time
like
to worry about my breath.
Did you ever watch that Miss Maisel show on Amazon Prime?
I think I did see
Marvelous Miss
one.
Maisel.
Yeah, I think I
I
see one or two.
like that show. I'm not caught up on it, but I remember in one of the first few episodes that she would do that. She would she would always wake up but she would go to sleep with her husband, and then she would wake up and she'd go put her hair in like curlers and everything and do all the stuff she needed to do to get herself ready for bed. She'd come, she'd lay back down to sleep, and then she'd wake up like a half hour before him, go take it all out, whatever, make herself all pretty, and then lay back down. So that he thought that she was always waking up, like going to bed, natural, and then waking up like perfectly coiffed and everything.
Well, see, I thought
hilarious.
it's just like I thought that I was reading where it says a good healthy gut. People have, you know, they have gas like, 15, 20 times a day. And I thought that was something wrong with people, but I read it's not.
I don't know. I don't know about that one because if I'm eating really clean, I do not have bad gas.
Bad gas and gas are two, or this basically this. I'm talking about just gas.
That's what I mean. I don't have that. If I'm not eating sugar and all the things, like if I'm eating that strict.
I live with you, so I love you, and I live with you.
That's because I'm eating sugar. All right. Why are we talking about this?
We're talking about a little bit of everything. We're trying to put a thing in there. Okay, well, I know that when I was growing up, I made very good choices. And then when I got older, the reason why I made bad choices was to hurt the people that I felt hurt me. Like my father was the main one.
That's pretty classic,
then,
Todd.
yeah.
You're vindictive like
No,
that.
it's pretty classic. Children. Not just Todd. Children is what it is. And then you realize that it's only hurting yourself.
Yeah.
And you realize that you got to make a change, because, you got to stop hurting yourself. I'd just rather just, punch the person in the face. No, I'm kidding.
No, you sent me a meme this week, wasn't it? That you said anger is what we do to ourselves when something bad happens. Yeah. Or something like that.
No,
what
anger,
was it?
Was, anger does, I forgot what it said. Hang on, I can find it.
Yeah, it was a good one though, but because it's like, it really does only hurt us. It's something additional we do to hurt ourselves when bad stuff happens to us. And it's like, why are we doing that? Right?
Yes.
It's so true that we can look at things differently. We don't have to get angry when the anger, we're the only one experiencing the anger, right?
Well, yes, but you can hold on. Like sometimes if I'm angry, the reason why I'm quiet is because I don't want to say something that I'm going to have to regret. So I have to collect myself. And sometimes it takes me a little time to collect myself because I'm pretty pissed. They say a wise man was asked, "What is anger?" He gave a beautiful answer. It is a punishment you give to yourself for somebody else's mistakes. So, which means that someone else has pissed you off, and anger is a twofold thing. I think.
Yeah.
There's anger for me. It's important because it's a feeling for me. When I'm angry, it doesn't mean it's not a bad feeling.
Right.
It's what I do with the anger is what can make it bad.
So I think that's exactly right because I think there is a certain amount of anger that's reflexive, right?
Yeah.
Like that if a boundary, because I have that in my journal somewhere where I wrote, anger is a sign that a boundary has been crossed or something like that. Like there's
not only that, it's like if I fail at something, I get angry and then it makes me try harder for something the next time.
Right. So
and
I
that's
think
okay. That's natural.
I think there's a reflexive thing. Like when I was going through, when I was actually before my divorce, but just after I had been cheated on, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember talking to my therapist about how I was doing, and I was like, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm good. And he was kind of like, that doesn't really compute. He's like, if this happens to you, you are going to have naturally a response of pain and anguish. And he's like, it's as reflexive as bleeding. It's like if you get a cut on your arm, you can't sit here and be like, I'm fine.
That's right.
I'm not bleeding. Like the blood comes automatically to the cut. Right. And I think that it's kind of like that with like anger and frustration. Like,
but that's why I'm saying
we don't have to hold on to it.
Yes,
right. You can let it go.
That's why it's nothing wrong with anger.
Right.
It isn't. Anger is an okay emotion. Right. Just like being happy or sad is an okay emotion. The problem is people take anger and they take it out on everyone around them, or they lash it back out at someone else. And, that's why they say fighters, when they fight, cannot be angry fighting. If they're angry fighting, they're going to lose.
Because they're not being
in control. Yeah, but if you're just in control, try not to get hit, you can control yourself, you can win the fight. And that's why I get so mad when people tell me not to be angry. But my anger sometimes silences me so that I don't say something I'm going to be sorry for. I don't like to have things thrown up at me, 10 years later, which a lot of, I'm not saying all women do, but some women do. They'll bring it back up. You're like, you said to me 1932 about this, and you're like, I did? I was just throwing that kind of out the way. I didn't really mean to be truthful.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned to do, is not to say things I'm going to be sorry for later or get thrown at me.
Yeah.
But I do get very quiet, as you know. I get very quiet.
Mm-hmm. I think we covered most of what I was thinking of. What else were you thinking of?
Well, like I said, just choices is and it's everyday. It's like the choices of food you eat without having like something wrong with you. It's how big you're going to get.
Yeah.
And then when you look in the mirror and you realize how big you are, you be like, man, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But it's just about your choices. You either can eat good and eat the right kind of food, or you can eat bad, and damage yourself.
Right. Like the choices, there's consequences, right, to all choices.
Yes.
And we don't get to pick the consequences.
No.
We get to pick our choices.
Yes. There's consequences. Okay, like for instance, I didn't realize this until I got much older, is all that rough things that I did growing up, like, motorcycle riding and gymnastics, that there's consequences for that as you get older.
You're paying them now,
and the consequences are, you're going to need that fixed now. Oh, that's going to hurt, and then that's going to hurt.
Yeah.
If you ask any major athlete, they're going to tell you the same thing. It's like, man, I didn't realize that it was going to be like this when I get in my 60s and 70s, that I'm going to have all these physical problems.
Pain.
I mean, all this pain, because that's what happens. Your body, I don't think, is meant to do all that. It just isn't.
Yeah. Yeah, that there's sometimes we're kind of making withdrawals out of a very future bank account, right?
And that's why I tell kids, use your brain, not your muscle. You know what I mean? Be smart. If you just do the smart stuff.
But which of those things, honestly, would you have not done? I mean, you loved gymnastics.
I would have not rode motorcycles like that.
Motorcycles.
That was costly.
That was
costly. Yeah, I paid for it because I had some bad
accidents.
wrecks. So I paid for it. And I'm sure that contributes to both of my bad shoulders, my knee probably,
So that's the one you look back and like, I could have done without that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
not the gymnastics,
because I liked gymnastics. It was fun. Yeah, it was all fun. But, what's good about it is, what's bad about it, the good part about it is I can still show people on video that I could do that.
Yeah, that's true.
And everybody can't do that.
That's true.
But I can. I can find someone who's see, I can do that.
I think the trapeze stuff is super cool.
Yeah, that was like...
If you guys have never seen, how can they go find that?
It's on YouTube. Circus of the Stars.
Circus of the Stars.
And I think the host of that year was Morgan Fairchild.
Okay.
Morgan Fairchild was the host of that year.
And you did trapeze for how long?
I did it for 5 years straight.
5 years.
Yeah. And I only quit, like I said, I did the double that won the 4th year, and then the 5th year they wanted me to do a triple. And I did the triple without the ropes, no guard, no ropes, caught his hands, and I slipped off, and I was flying backwards. And 2 weeks before that, so this is what you have to understand, 2 weeks before that, somebody hit that back net, a professional, hit the back net, fell off, hit the net the wrong way, hit his head, and he's just all messed up. Was never the same. And as I'm flying that back net, I'm seeing the whole scenario happen. Because like they said, like when something looks like tragic is going to happen, it starts going in slow motion. And it is true. I was like, I'm going to be messed up. But then I folded my hands in like I was supposed to. I hit it, turned around, and I hit the thing. I was like, oh, I made it. And then I was like, I'm done. That's it. I am done. They're like, no. You get quiet. He said, no, I'm done, man. I ain't doing this. I said, I could die or get really messed up. I go, I'm done. And they go, well, will you do one more act for us? I go, look, try this. So they gave me, I came back a week later, they gave me a chair and a whip and put me in the lion cage. I went in the lion cage and I was like, and them lions are huge. And I was like, these things are...
You were in a cage with the lions?
Yes, with 2 lions.
They're trained, of course.
Okay, how much can you train them?
I know, but like still,
Siegfried and Roy's lions was trained too, but he still got drug off by his head. So I'm looking at him and I saw that one lion go,
licked
and I was
his
like,
lips.
I'm cooked meat. I'm getting out of here. And I left and I was like, mm-mm. So then I found out after I decided I didn't want to do it, that the reason why they needed someone else to do it was the woman got slapped by one of the lions.
Oh.
And it was one of them that was in the cage.
How'd they not tell you that?
Because they didn't want me to be scared. But it didn't matter. That was enough for me.
Had you done the triple? That time you fell was not the first time you did the triple on the...
No, it was the first time I did it. I caught it. I did it a lot and caught it when I had the ropes on me.
Okay.
This was done without the ropes.
So the first time you did it without the
ropes, everything was fine. Caught his hand. I hit his hands perfectly, but I slipped off his hands.
Like it was like just too sweaty or slidey.
Yeah, it was like catching. I
something.
went, and I had to turn around. So
had you never fallen into the net before?
Yeah, you fall in the net all the time, but I've never hit that back net ever. That was my first time ever hitting the back net, and and you're going at a fast rate of speed too. It's not slow.
I don't understand the different nets.
Well, that net is like.
So there's one
slip
below
off, it's like 20 feet. The one below you is 75 feet down, and you cannot see the net. Just so you know, when you fall, you don't see that net. It's 75 feet down.
Yeah.
So.
But it catches you, and you don't die. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Catches
like if
everybody.
you hit it right.
Yeah.
Where's the back net?
It's okay. You're talking about a net that's like probably 45, 50 feet wide, right? And then versus the net up there, it's like 4 feet wide in the back. It's really small, not big.
So it's like behind you?
Yeah, behind
keep you- to bounce you back into
when
the-
you're on the board, when you're on the board, you can hit that net and you'll bounce back.
And then into
but,
the bottom one.
But you can miss that really easy.
Yeah, because it's so small.
Yeah, you hit it on the side, you hit it, now you're going that direction.
Oh, yeah.
You know, or you hit it on the other side, you go that
So when
direction.
the guy had the bad accident before you,
he hit
it weird, and then
hit it weird on the side and spun him around and he hit his head on the concrete.
oh, he didn't get back into the bottom
No,
net.
no.
Oh,
And we knew about it because we were all there when we heard it happen.
and that's terrible.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking the whole time too as I was flying
Like,
back
this
there.
is gonna happen to me.
Yep, but it didn't. Thank goodness. Thank God that it didn't happen to me. But still, I was done with that.
You're like, okay, I'm done. Trapeze over.
Yep.
Did you do like tightrope?
No, I didn't want to do any of that.
I don't know.
It wasn't. It didn't hold the esteem as trapeze did. Everyone went.
know.
Everyone went to the
I
circus to
guess
see
tightrope's
what
kind of girly.
they
huh?
went to. Everything. People went to the circus to see what the trapeze. That was always the biggest thing, and the lion.
Did you know I have never been to the circus, so I actually don't really
Because
know.
by the
But
time,
I've seen videos.
when you started getting older, circuses were starting to fade out.
yeah,
They were fading out.
yep.
You know, but in the 70s, circuses were huge in the 70s. You know, I went to Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey a million times, not a million times, but I went a lot.
Did they go away because they weren't very nice to the animals?
They weren't very good for the animals. I
Yeah.
don't like to see animals in cages. That's my thing. I don't like to see that.
And you don't want to be in the cage with the lion.
No, I was
either.
over that one. You know? I didn't want to be eaten, so that was the thing.
Yeah,
You know, I don't want to, if I'm going to kill myself, I'm going to do it on my own. I don't want anyone else to do it.
yeah.
Now, I'm not saying I would commit suicide. No, I would never do that. But if you are committing suicide, there's a
You mean-
suicide hotline that you should call if you need help.
Yeah.
Reach out for help. Don't take it upon yourself, think you can get through it without having someone help you.
Yeah.
So make sure we put the suicide hotline on the things. People know
Okay,
that.
I will.
Yes.
And I'll go try to find the video of you doing the trapeze.
It's on YouTube. I've seen
Yeah.
it a million times. So,
Awesome.
well,
All right, well.
I actually did it. So,
You did.
yeah.
It makes me want to try it. I don't know if I have enough upper body strength for
when
that.
I first met Rocky, your son. He was like, didn't realize how athletic I was. And
Yeah.
you know,
Because you
so-
had the shoulders
Yeah,
stuff.
my shoulder was already going on, and then when I was able to play basketball, I was lighting them up, and he couldn't believe it. But then, and then here I am now again with the shoulder issue again, the same shoulder.
Yeah.
See, it happens, but it's all right.
Hopefully
it's gonna
this-
get this time. Hopefully, it'll be the last fix I have to get,
Yeah.
and I can continue to have all the metals in my body. I have screws and everything everywhere, and that puts you back together. At least, where I'm like Play-Doh. You could be when you fall apart, you get put back together.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. Whether you have emotional trauma, you have to put yourself back together
Right.
and move forward.
Humpty Dumpty.
Yes. And
All right.
don't let anyone stop you.
Dang.
Dang, what? I quit. No, I'm kidding. Dang, I'm out the door. No.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it?
Awesome. That's it, I think.
I think that's it. Thank you so much for continuing. I hope you guys learned something today that maybe
Yeah.
you can use in your life to help you get through it.
Yeah.
It was so nice to have you on here. Thank you very much. This podcast is produced by my wife, Bettijo Bridges, in collaboration with Pop Populi, and edited by our daughter, Adelie Ann.
She is also the musician responsible for our theme music, so go check out Adelie Ann wherever you stream your music. Have a question or topic you want us to cover? Send us your suggestions at dangpodcast.com.
If you would do me a quick favor, please subscribe or rate our podcast to make it easier for others to find. Have a great week.
I'm running on nothing but faith. There's things far too great that I want to accomplish. I'm hoping.